If your model for flood or severe storms feels like it's always wrong, I'm going to let you in on a secret. The real problem probably isn't the model. It's the illusion of certainty we built around it. So what is actually going on here? Well, let's break it down.
For years, we've all anchored these massive capital, portfolio, and reinsurance decisions to a single number. But in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why that foundation is just so fragile for the perils we're facing today.
The 1 in 200. It's the industry's go-to yardstick, right? It's essential for solvency, it gives us a common language for risk. But here's the thing. While that number provides a benchmark we all need, executives like you are actually managing a future that's defined by something else entirely. Deep uncertainty.
Now, what's really interesting here is that this uncertainty kind of comes in two flavors. First, you've got event randomness. That's just the inherent chaos of what happens in any given year. We can't control that. But the second type, that's model uncertainty. And believe me, it's a whole lot more challenging. This is about what the science, the data, and the models just don't know yet.
And when we're talking about the perils that are really driving today's losses, flood, wildfires, severe convective storms, this model uncertainty isn't just some minor detail on a spreadsheet. No way. It is a massive driver of risk. It creates this huge band of potential outcomes that a single number could never, ever capture.
Just take a look at this. This visual shows the problem perfectly. You can have two completely credible models, and both of them fit the historical data really well. But look what happens way out in the tail, where that 1 in 200 number lives. They can disagree by billions of dollars. And that's not a rounding error, folks. That is a fundamental difference in how they view extreme risk.
So this is the crucial takeaway right here. Your 1 in 200 number, it isn't a scientific fact that a model spits out for you. It's a choice. It's a decision your organization is making with fundamentally incomplete information. And the real question is, how do you make that decision as robustly as possible?
So, what does this actually mean for you? Well, if you're the CFO, this is a direct shot at your capital efficiency. When you rely on a single, precise-looking number, you're either tying up precious capital that you don't need to, or you're just one event away from a massive, and I mean massive, earnings surprise.
For the CRO, this really calls the whole definition of risk appetite into question, doesn't it? An appetite statement that's built on a fragile number means the cost of being surprised is just dangerously high. Your stress tests can't just be about tweaking the inputs anymore. They have to start challenging the model's most basic assumptions.
And if you're the CEO, this is all about that tricky balance between growth and risk. This kind of model uncertainty can create these silent, hidden accumulations of risk. What looks like a beautifully diversified portfolio on the surface might have these correlated vulnerabilities that only a major event is going to expose.
And finally, for the head of reinsurance, doesn't this explain so much of the market's behavior lately? When reinsurers seem a little skittish, it's because they're not just pricing the event risk. They are pricing for the deep model uncertainty that, frankly, the primary market might be underestimating.
Okay, so if pinning all our hopes on one single number is the problem, what on earth is the solution? Well, it's not about a magical hunt for the perfect model. It's really about shifting our entire mindset to manage uncertainty explicitly, head-on, instead of trying to ignore it. This all starts with a new framework. We need to separate the reference view, that's the common yardstick model we all need for regulators and partners, from the decision view. And the decision view, well, that's where you take that yardstick and you make it smarter, enriching it with expert judgment, with scenario analysis, and with explicit bands of uncertainty.
And you can start building this decision view today, really, just by asking 3 simple but incredibly powerful questions. First, what is the range around our 1 in 200, not just the single number? Second, are we separating our strategy for predictable, frequent losses from our capital plan for massive, uncertain outbreaks? And third, how are we actively tracking how sensitive our portfolio is to the model's core assumptions? Look, this isn't about finding perfect crystal ball answers. The goal is to make uncertainty a visible, tangible, manageable part of your strategy, because you absolutely can manage uncertainty even if you can never fully eliminate it. Which, of course, leads us to the critical next step. If managing uncertainty is the new name of the game, and every model out there is telling a slightly different story about the future, the most important question becomes, whose view of that uncertainty do you actually trust? Your own? Your reinsurers? A single model vendor? Well, in part 2 of this explainer, we're going to show you how to stop treating that model disagreement as a problem and start using it as a measurable, strategic asset to help you make much more robust decisions. So if you want the framework for building your own decision view and really getting ahead of this challenge, just do one thing: comment the word uncertainty below.